Alright, so Kotaku plays their hand again, really shows that they're not a part of the gaming culture, the scene, nothing like that. They're really just a money hungry company just hiring whoever's willing to work for the cheapest rates, right? They got a bunch of people who basically went to college and really got no useful skills out of it. And now they just got these degrees, and Kotaku and these other mainstream places are just gobbling them up. When really they should be hiring gamers. It's easy to teach someone how to write compared to how to, really get invested in a culture of something. So Kotaku came out with an article today, and it's pretty contradictory, right? So on the one hand, they're complaining about games getting delayed. So they were complaining that Halo 5 got delayed, or not Halo 5, I mean Halo Infinite got delayed, my bad. So they're complaining that I got delayed, pushed back to next year, which obviously, no one's no one at the company, Microsoft, wants to delay the game, right? It's just not ready. And Phil Spencer, he's been doing a great job. Honestly, he's really turned the company around since Don Mattrick left. He completely destroyed the Xbox brand, and Don Mattrick, he's not just bringing back like the Xbox brand, he's revitalizing like all of gaming with it, because he's really helping out the PC community. And I don't get how Microsoft makes money on that, really. Like, how are they not just gonna make everything on Xbox and then make it, the Xbox the place to play and make everyone get the console? But I'm not gonna complain, right? It's definitely working out. Phil Spencer's a huge gamer, right? He's been there since, like, before I was even alive. I know he started his career there. I don't know if he took a break in the middle, but, he's out there. He's almost like 60 years old, so he is the head of gaming over at Microsoft. And it's not easy to delay a game, right? Because Microsoft's a huge company. You got investors, and then you got people working on the game who maybe just want to get it done so they can go on to pre-production for the next game, because pre-production is where you kind of get a break and you get time to just kind of screw around. You just had the big push for the game to come out, and you take a break, essentially. It's kind of what it is. But there's a lot of people complaining about Cyberpunk, including this article. They're complaining that Cyberpunk wasn't ready, that it's all glitchy and all this, and it's not even in two different articles that Kotaku complains about these simultaneous problems, right? Because you can't have one way or the other. Either you're happy that the game gets delayed and that it's
Untutored
ready,
courage
right? But
is useless in the face of educated bullies.
You do not get to complain about the game getting delayed, so that it's just mind-boggling. I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. Because he even mentions in the article there that, he doesn't want a buggy game. So there's some type of brain up there functioning. He understands that when you delay it, it's going to make the game better in the end. But then he'll complain when a game was put out and then it's not ready. But then he complains that the game gets delayed. So I just don't get it, right? But that's not even the half of it. So I'm always in favor of delaying games, right? I don't want a buggy game. I don't want to just get disappointed and get mad or whatever. So I'd rather just wait for it to be ready and play it. Some of the best games ever that were released ever were delayed. GTA 5 was delayed. Red Dead Redemption 2 was also delayed. Half-Life 2 was delayed for like a whole year. That part of the game leaked, and they weren't happy with the part that got leaked, so they just basically redid the whole game. Honestly, it was one of the best things I've done at the time. So this really just shows not only like how lazy the supervision is over there at Kotaku, but like their unethical journalism, right? Because this is the company that basically started Gamergate, or at least their employees did, with so-called accusations of, sleeping around with people so that they can get better reviews for their games, right? It's garbage company, really. So, people used to care about the details in the games. Game reviewers used to be into that kind of thing. I remember back
It is not the
when
mountain
Modern
we
Warfare
conquer,
3 was coming out.
but
And one of
ourselves.
the details they were talking about was like the stance of people, right? Because in real life, it actually changed. They trained like the special operators. Like when Modern Warfare 2 was out, they would stand like straight forward, standing up so that their armor would take the impact of the bullet. Like if they got shot, their body armor would absorb the bullet. Well, by the time Modern Warfare 3 came out, they actually had changed the training, so Modern Warfare 3 had matched that, and now they kind of switched sideways so they can get shot straight on kind of bounces off a little bit. You're not facing it straight on. And but Kotaku, of course, they don't care about any of that, right? So these are the same people who cheered the historical revisionism of Battlefield 1, right? Because Battlefield 1, they had, like trans people, disabled people fighting in the war. It's like about the world wars, and I get they're trying to. EA is like, this is our interpretation of the war. It's like, that doesn't even make sense, right? Like, you're really just trying to revise what really happened, and people who cared about things like how they stand are now seeing like stuff that's not even real. So I don't even get. If you want to make like a fantasy game, right, make a fantasy game, right? It doesn't even have to be like necessarily the fantasy genre, but just make whatever you want up at that point. Don't try and like tie it to a real world event. You could just make up whatever you want, but of course Kotaku, they don't care about that. Neither do their employees. I mean, these people. It was some really lazy article too. I went through a couple of this guy's article, and I don't want to call him out by name, but I mean, he basically just said like a few sentences about it, gave his little opinion. It was basically like a copy and paste a couple of times, except for one when he was trying to push down like his, socially progressive agenda. Other than that, it was pretty much exactly what I said. Lazy. Just gave like one sentence of an opinion. Maybe he watched the video like this, where someone just giving their opinion about each topic, and then he adds like one sentence to the end, right? So I just don't get how. Not only do they not have any sort of editorial point of view, right? So what that is the company essentially, they don't pick how you think for one way, but the company would have an opinion, right? Like the head editor or the editor in large, they have different names, right? Would say, no, this is what we think, right? So we're only going to say that you should delay a game, and then if it's not ready, you delay it, and then it just gets delayed until it's ready. Whereas this guy in the same article, right? So I'm wondering, is there like any supervision, any type of editorial review? Did someone look over this after him and say, hey, you can't complain about both of those in the same article? Like it's mind-boggling how this made it like onto their site. I'm really amazed, right? 'Cause I'm not like an editor or writer or anything, but I'm like, dude, this is literally, that doesn't make any sense. So that's basically it. I'm just amazed that they're still survived as a company, essentially, when they do things like this.